Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The efforts continue to employ job seekers in various sectors of the state. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion launches 50 investment opportunities in the industrial sector. And the Ministry of Health reports 11 deaths and 1,041 new COVID-19 cases. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Within the framework to implement the royal directives of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, to employ job seekers, the Royal Army of Oman, in coordination with the Ministry of Labour, continues the recruitment procedures in this regard. This comes within the efforts exerted by the Sultan's armed forces in providing the opportunity to the citizens to join the military service. The recruitment procedures are divided into 3 stages, including initial medical checkups, physical fitness examinations, and then personal interviews. Those who pass these examinations will join the army and start their training to serve their country. Nama Group companies started to prepare for the interviews for the job seekers. Around 7,812 applications from the electrical engineering bachelor degree holders, diploma in electricity and general diploma holders were received through the platform of the Ministry of Labour. The number of graduates exceeded 5,600 in the first exam that was conducted through the electronic platform of the Numu Institute for Competency Development, where 800 individuals will be chosen to work in the technical jobs. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion launched 50 investment opportunities in the industrial sector. The virtual launching ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion. More details in the following report.
In implementation of the Manufacturing Strategy 2040, the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion unveiled 50 investment opportunities in the industrial sector. The new investment opportunities are expected to contribute to attracting other potential investment chances of more than 200 million Omani riyals and to raise the contribution of the manufacturing sector in the national GDP.
This initiative, 50 opportunities for business investment in industrial sector, is part of 100 initiatives that Ministry of Commerce and Industry and Investment Promotion has committed itself through its plan in 2021. So we are planning this year to have around 100 initiatives, opportunities for business, for industrial business. We have made 2 stages for this 100 initiatives. The first stage is to introduce in the first half of the year the 50 opportunities, and today meeting is to launch these 50 opportunities. The next half of the year we are aiming also to introduce other 50 opportunities for industries sectors. Total investment expected for these 50 opportunities around more than 200 million riyal Omani.
The methodology used to set new investment opportunities includes several stages. The first phase is to define priorities for the required opportunities in the sectors targeted by the manufacturing strategy. The second phase includes preparing preliminary feasibility studies for the new opportunities and to present them to potential investors, while the third phase is to cooperate with investors to conduct final feasibility studies for each project.
We are very proud to be here today for launching 50 business opportunity in manufacturing sector, and this is only the start. However, we have worked together with the other sectors, either in the government sector or the private sector, to actually do the needful regarding the establishment and the development of and identifying the opportunity of investment in all the sector. And it will take time from one to another, inshallah, very soon, where we will have to actually support the government and the private sector to promote for those opportunity either locally or internationally.
The Investor Guide was also launched at the event. The guide includes information related to the investment environment and relevant laws in the Sultanate and the incentives in the economic zones, free zones, industrial areas, ports, and airports. In addition to bolstering the in-country added value, such investment opportunities in the industrial sector will contribute to expanding the manufacturing base of the national products in the various regions and governorates around the Sultanate. Salih bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
An Omani doctor and her team on a mission to combat antimicrobial resistance in the Sultanate, the work of which made her win a prestigious health prize from the World Health Organization. More details in the following report.
With a strong spirit of teamwork, an Omani doctor and her team on a mission to combat antimicrobial resistance, the work of which has been recognized by World Health Organization. She is Dr. Amal bint Saif Al-Ma'ni, a young consultant in infectious diseases for children and a director of the Infection Prevention and Control at the Directorate General for Disease Surveillance and Control, Minister of Health, who has intensively worked with her team advocating on rational use of antimicrobials in Oman to help combat antimicrobial resistance. She as well has engaged with her team on the National Project for Hand Hygiene as part of advocacy work for hand hygiene in the community and healthcare settings in Oman. Her dedicated work resulted in winning prestigious Sasakawa Health Prize 2021, announced during the current 74th World Health Assembly held virtually from Geneva to all member states.
I'm honored as an Omani doctor and as an infection preventionist to be awarded this global prize in health development. The tiredness, job, and efforts of many of the infection preventionists around the world during this special crisis of COVID-19 had really surfaced the importance of this specialty. I am hoping with this prize to shed the light on the efforts of the infection preventionists and need globally to build a system that is strong enough to combat any new emerging infections and prevent its spread at a level of outbreaks or even the extension to pandemics in the future.
Dr. Amal Al-Ma'ni noted that this Global Health Development Prize is a recognition of the National Infection Control Program in the Sultanate. It's a unique structure for this health service, which had taken the inherent view of infection prevention and control as hospital-based programs to more wider involvement in different levels of health care, including the community. It's great to note the teams are 99% nationals, and each one of them have been working as an individual and member of national team in developing the different pillars of the infection prevention and control within their healthcare facilities and in the governorate. The program that had succeeded in introducing important interventions like hand hygiene within the schools and had been actively involved in preparing the pilgrims to Mecca prior to traveling with infection prevention education. Moreover, IP or infection prevention staff are part of the Ministry of Health Hajj mission. The team has been actively involved in combating the spread of antimicrobial resistant pathogen by addressing the healthcare and community aspects of the problem. Dr. Amal Al-Ma'ni commended the great support she receives from the leadership and endless efforts of her colleagues in the health field, making infection prevention and control everyone business. Once again, congratulations to Dr. Amal Al-Ma'ni on this prize of its great contribution to Oman and humankind. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Ministry of Health announced 11 deaths and 1,041 new cases and 673 COVID-19 recoveries. The ministry pointed out that the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in the Sultanate reached 217,224, while the total number of deaths reached 2,345. The total recovered cases reached 199,960. The ministry indicated that the total number of inpatients reached 808, of which 247 are in intensive care units. The national COVID-19 immunization campaign for general education students continued in the wilayas of the Governorate of North Batna. The immunization witnessed a smooth flow and good organizing by the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, which reflected a high awareness among parents of the importance of vaccinating their children. In 41 schools, general diploma students in the wilayas of the Governorate of North Sharqiya have taken the first dose of vaccination against coronavirus COVID-19. The campaign includes also teaching and the administrative staff and supervisors at general diploma examination centers. More than 3,100 male and female general diploma students in the Governorate are supposed to be vaccinated before the final examination of the current scholastic year. Still to come in our news bulletin, floods from heavy rains inundated New Zealand's Canterbury region today. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Egypt's intelligence chief Abbas Kamel arrived today in Gaza and headed immediately for a meeting with Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. The meeting was taking place at a hotel in the city of Gaza. They were discussing efforts to maintain the ceasefire brokered by Egypt that ended 11 days of fighting between Hamas and Israel earlier this month. Their talks also focused on rebuilding Gaza in the wake of the fighting. Kamel arrived in Gaza following talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and with Palestinian Authority officials in Ramallah. Massive protests or posters of Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi were placed at main roads and intersections across the Gaza Strip in what was seen as an endorsement of Egypt's efforts to arrange the truce. Kamel is the highest-ranking Arab official to visit Gaza since 2018. A COVID-19 cluster in Australia's second-largest city has spread into nursing homes. Victoria State's acting Premier James Merlino said the challenge ahead of them is a very significant one. In the past 24 hours, they've identified many more points of concern in addition to the very worrying cases in private aged care. Victoria State began a 7-day lockdown on Friday due to a cluster in its capital, Melbourne. State health authorities on Monday announced 11 new cases. A second staff member and a 90-year-old resident of the R-Care Maidstone aged care facility in Melbourne were among the new infections. The first infected staff member was reported on Sunday. The second staff member had also worked at the Blue Cross Western Gardens nursing home in Melbourne last week and had not been vaccinated. The facility went into lockdown after the news. The vast majority of Victoria's 820 coronavirus deaths have been in nursing homes. Aerial video showed the extent of the flooding in New Zealand's Canterbury region today as forecasters warned of possible heavy rain into the evening before conditions improved. Raging waters left farms and fields covered in mud. Several hundred New Zealanders were evacuated from their homes. Authorities declared a state of emergency after some places received as much as 40 centimeters of rain over the weekend and into today. Local media reported about 50 schools closed across the Canterbury region. The military helped evacuate more than 50 people, including several who were airlifted to safety by helicopter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. The efforts continue to employ job seekers in various sectors of the state. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion launches 50 investment opportunities in the industrial sector. And the Ministry of Health reports 11 deaths and 1,041 new COVID-19 cases. And from all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.
مستانسة؟ وصلت البيتزا. حبيبتي ابتسامتك حلوة مثل بابا.